Hello, this is Bala Aluru, founder of the Humming Plant. We specialize in asset and work management solutions involving SAP. Today, let's talk about resource-related billing. Most people who are in the SAP plant maintenance, customer service, project systems areas are aware that resource-related billing can translate the cost items in those cost objects into billable items in the sales order and eventually in the invoice. So let's take a case today from the utilities industry. A utilities distribution company has an agreement with one of its vendors, and they, at the time of signing the contract or the renewal of their contract, they sit and discuss and decide for a certain type of job and in a certain area how many units, they quantify how many in certain units, uh, the what is required to deliver the job. So the same type of job in two different places can require two different quantities of those standard units for that job. But the point in today's session is how we're going to use the resource related billing to bill for those scenarios where there is a standard unit rate for those units, and how we simply bill at those, irrespective of what costs have been collected by those cost receivers, how we bill those service products with different quantities. So let's get into SAP and discuss further. All right. So I have here 4 orders. As you can see, there are 4 service orders here, and they're all using the same service product, which is the vegetation job. But the difference, the significance between them is the quantity of that service product. So the same vegetation job in the north will require 6 units of that vegetation job, whereas in these say in the southern region it takes only 1 unit of that vegetation job. It's basically a reflection of how complex the same job can be depending on where that job has to be performed. So the other thing we noticed is I don't have any actual costs in any of these jobs, and that's the point we're trying to prove here, that the cost collected in the orders really doesn't matter. All we are trying to bill is these service products for their quantities, but we're trying to bring a reference between the service orders and all the downstream documents. The other point taken note of is the billing form. This is a significantly important field for this scenario. 01 stands for a fixed rate. Basically, what we're saying is that don't base the billing on any other parameters. It's the billing has to be on a flat rate for the service product. So I have a service order open. Let's have a look at one service order. I have the first one open here. So you have the billing form here. 01 is for fixed rate, and we have the service product code here. It's basically a lean material and the quantity here. Okay, so I have lined up my service orders and I'm ready to bill them. And so these are my service orders, and if I were to run the DP95 master resource related billing transaction, I'll have a variant set up already, and the only thing I'll probably have to do is through the TVARC table settings, I just have to update the list of service orders that I want to include in the resource related billing run. So here I have manually entered these service orders for our scenario, and I'm going to execute it. So what we are expecting is that debit memo requests be created for each of these service orders. So you can see we've got 4 debit memo requests, and I'm going to pick up one of them and we will examine it. So here I go with this sales document and go to the VA03 transaction. And as you can see, the first order has got a quantity of 6 activity units, and it has picked up through the condition type technique and the condition records for that service product. It has picked up the price, the billable price, and applied the quantity to it. So now all that's required to be done is just converting these um, sales documents into a proper invoice that goes out to the utilities distribution company from the vendor. So I'll go back here and copy them. This is not a significant part of the resource related billing. It's part of a standard billing process. We just run the VF01 transaction, or we run the VF04 billing due list transaction. Okay, so we now run the VF04 transaction, and we have the debit memo requests already. I just copy paste them here, and since these are not delivery related billing items, they're all order related billing items, I just select that checkbox and I execute it. And as you can see, it's picked up all the 4 debit memo requests. And if I were to simulate the creation of the invoice, it will look like a single invoice, and naturally, and with the 4 debit memo requests. So so what we've just seen is what a treasure resource related billing can be when it comes to billing scenarios. We've always known that resource related billing can translate cost items into billable items, but here is a scenario where you really don't you're not interested in knowing what costs collected are. There is already an agreement between you as the user of the solution and your customer that there is an agreed price for the type of jobs to be done. All that is required is bill those items based on the quantity from in the service order, and at a predetermined sales price. So if you would like, if you're curious to know how the resource related billing, how the DIP profile was set up for this scenario, leave your comments in the comment section and I'll try to answer them in as much detail as possible. Hope you liked this video. Do also like the video, and as always, your comments are going to be very valuable. Thank you.